Troubleshooter.
Yeah, is it cable, right?
Both of them. Yes, sir.
Is it cable?
Ali. Again?
That's coming through?
It's really low. We can still do it. But then that's not for here. And then the mic's alright. They'll just swap that.
This one is perfect first. I'm doing this, yeah, but it's not as loud as it was before. So I'm saying I'm doing this one first.
Try to handle it. sure if it was internal or microphone. Internal. That's a troubleshooting because I realized that both cables are interchangeable in both channels. But there are times when it doesn't work. Like it wasn't working on them. No, they're both working fine.
I am in total agreement. I am in total agreement.
That was a bigger ministry and that too many division. It's division.
I am in total agreement. From the moment you mentioned it when we had that meeting, we showing the different reporting areas.
When I came in, it was, even then it was division, even though the head was SAG5. I had it upgraded to a principal director.
Yeah.
We're going to use this for your
division.
Alright. I'm in total agreement. As recent as Monday, I was telling the staff that we need to move away from this talk about branches. Division.
Is there a time lapse? What would it take for us to switch between this and those machines?
Technical, what up, sir? You see, sir, so the thing is, the internet infrastructure here is atrocious, and we have to really invest and upgrade.
I know something is in the budget.
And then the thing about it is, if we want the staff to join in, they can't join via YouTube or Facebook because of the bandwidth. And then it will affect streaming here. So the whole thing needs to be upgraded to a higher level.
We'll talk to Yanni. Yanni, this my kind of put in charge.
Right. We definitely have to upgrade.
We spend the money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you mean live? Raymond, hey guys, we're live. Raymond, we're hearing everything you're saying.
Really?
On YouTube? Oh, guys, we're live on YouTube. Raymond. Alright, can you turn off Raymond mic?
Sure.
They're hearing everything Raymond said. Mute Raymond mic. Thank you very much.
que você quer, cadê você? Passei na vida esperando os beijos. Os olhos falam de Deus, mas eu só quero acabar contemplando meus sonhos. A lua cheia fica aqui, embaixo dos nossos pés. De você, de você, de você, de você, de você.
Raymond Poiser.
Colonel Charles.
Good. All right. PSK, say your name, please.
Alwyn Hales.
Good. All right. We're going live. In 3, 2, 1.
Honorable Colonel Charles Jr., Minister of Housing, Urban Renewal, Environment and Climate Change, Dr. Alwyn Hales, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Housing, Urban Renewal, Environment and Climate Change, Permanent Secretaries of the ministries that are joining us this morning, heads of departments and agencies, Mrs. Shulette Cox, Vice President of JAMPRO, Mr. Numa Gremlin, Senior GIS Developer at GeosysNet, NSPIT stakeholders, members of the media, special welcome to all. A game changer. Today we will launch the NSPIT platform, that's the National Spatial Planning Information Technology Platform. And as I said, it promises to be a game changer in the planning and development field.
and particularly where spatial planning is concerned. I want to thank you for joining us for this official launch. Today is a significant milestone in the whole NSPIT journey. I just want to say, feel free, enjoy what the Ministry of Housing, Urban Renewal, Environment and Climate Change has to offer you this morning, as we will go right into the meat of the matter to deal with NSPIT and this official launch. So again, welcome. Before we go any further, please stand for the playing of the national anthem. After which, we will have prayer by Mr. Walter Williams, the Spatial Plan Analyst at the National Spatial Data Management Division. Thank you, Mr. Walter Williams.
Let us pray. Lord, we just want to give you thanks for a new day. This is the day that you have made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Thank you, Lord, that you have spared our lives, all of us who are here present today and who can hear my voice. Thank you for protecting us, Lord, for the last year and a half, which has been very challenging for most of us. Pray that, Lord, you will continue to protect us, Lord, and that you will keep us safe, keep us fighting, Lord, against the coronavirus and against all of the implications of that. Pray, Lord, that you will continue to give us wisdom and give us courage. Lord, we pray that as we launch NSPIT today, Lord, we take the reign of the command that you have given us, Lord, to have dominion, Lord, over what you have created and have given us responsibility over. Pray that, Lord, we will use this tool to better our country, to make it a safer place to live, to make it more climate resilient, Lord, to make it a place that we continue to look forward to living in. Pray that, Lord, you will give us good decisions from using this platform, that it will help us to be better informed and to use our resources to their best ability. Pray that, Lord, you will give our leaders wisdom, Lord, as they rely on technocrats to make their decisions. And that, Lord, all that will be done and said will give glory to you, and that Jamaica will take its place, Lord, in advancing the welfare of the whole human race. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Mr. Williams. Indeed, we have a great responsibility, and we will use this platform to enhance the lives of our fellow citizens and Jamaica at large. I just want to again thank you for joining us, and I extend a warm welcome to all those on the various platforms, the YouTube channel and the Facebook. Of course, we want to say it is indeed my pleasure to introduce the members of the head table. Let me first introduce my minister, the very dynamic and hard-working Honorable Pernell Charles Jr., who has the awesome task of leading the Ministry of Housing, Urban Renewal, Environment, and Climate Change, which is, without a doubt, one of the most important ministries in Jamaica in terms of our quest for sustainable development. He is joined by our Permanent Secretary, Dr. Alwyn Hales, one of the longest serving and most knowledgeable civil servants in the government service. We will also be joined online by Mr. Numa Gremlin. You will see on your program that's printed Mr. Martin Dresden. Martin has indicated that he is unable to join, and is capable Lieutenant Mr. Gremlin, who will be representing and giving greetings on behalf of GSIS.net. We also have Mrs. Shulette Cox, Vice President of JAMPRO, one of our important stakeholders in the development of NSPIT. Ladies and gentlemen, the NSPIT platform represents the continued effort of the government of Jamaica to include technology in the planning and development field and to use technology to drive decision making. Because, of course, Jamaica is among a few countries that would have embarked on a project similar to this. And you'll hear more about that because of what NSPIT is and what it does. So without much further ado, let me take this opportunity to go right into the greetings, which will be brought to us first by Mr. Numa Gremlin. And I must indicate that Numa is in Germany, and he will join us remotely. Numa. Numa?
And it's not showing on the seed.
Is it that your mic is muted? So, Numa?
This is the feed. It's not. This is the Facebook feed. It's not showing that. You understand?
Yeah, so it's delayed.
Even when he was speaking, it's not coming up. We can't afford to get it wrong. We're talking about
provides and maintains, and they also I'm having some issues. Is there new content to the platform? So anyone's welcome to share data. Is their job to integrate it? So we're looking at their work. And in general, platform, a lot of simplified processes, just by adding and thank you very much. I hope to hear some. I'm having a lot of background right now. Yeah, that was it. I hope you heard something.
Leo, we're not hearing anything.
Hello?
So thank you very much, Mrs. Mrs. Cox.
Hello, good morning. Agencies across government, members of the media, virtual attendees, good morning. It is my pleasure to be here at the virtual launch of the National Spatial Planning Information Technology Platform, or NSPIT, as we have come to call it, and to offer Corporation, JAMPRO. We at JAMPRO would like to extend our warmest congratulations to the Ministry of Housing, Urban Renewal, Environment and Climate Change, the National Spatial Data Management Branch, and all the key stakeholders who have invested a considerable amount of time and talent into the development of this platform. We believe this tool not only demonstrates the government of Jamaica's commitment to modernizing business processes, which will ultimately improve the overall business experience for our local and foreign investors, but it also offers a channel for valuable and time-sensitive information to business people who need quality and reliable information to make good and sound and sustainable business decisions. Most of you may be aware that JAMPRO is Jamaica's investment and export promotion agency, and that we're charged with promoting investment ideas and projects to local and foreign investors, while also finding overseas markets for Jamaican products. We're perhaps a little less known for the work that we've been doing over the last decade towards creating a more business-friendly investment climate in Jamaica, through the support that we give to our government partners in the provision and creation of more efficient and friendlier business services in government. In keeping with this focus, JAMPRO is home to the National Competitiveness Council, which is a public-private partnership body chaired by our minister, the Honorable Audley Shaw, and established in 2010 with a very specific mandate to advance policy advocacy, research, and public awareness of reform initiatives that facilitate the creation of an enabling environment for business. To do this effectively, we work very closely with a number of implementing agencies across government and support their efforts. In 2018, Cabinet mandated the National Competitiveness Council, the NCC, to drive the implementation of the requisite initiatives and reforms to secure a top 10 ranking in World Bank's Doing Business report. Since then, we have collaborated with a number of government agencies, and we've come up with a list of reform initiatives to be monitored and facilitated as a part of the government's business environment reform agenda. And we're specifically focused on enhancing Jamaica's performance in key international indices, while also ensuring that they have a real-life, on-the-ground impact on investors. A more efficient development applications review process. It has been identified as being critical, not only for the construction sector, taking over 140 days. Over 25 of those days are in respect of research on soil tests, zoning, and other physical land characteristics that can now be accessed via NSPIT. As Secretariat for NCC, JAMPRO was charged in 2014 with implementing Component 1 of the Foundations for Competitiveness at $1 worldwide, 7.4 million, and that's US dollars, in funds to enhance competition in the business environment and facilitate marked improvement in the business climate. With respect to the development applications process, initiatives have focused on improving transparency and efficiencies that the government of Jamaica and the World Bank have approved additional financing to implement new and critical doing business reforms under Component 1 of the FCGP. Through this additional financing, JAMPRO will work once more with the ministry and the NSDMB team to upgrade the existing National Geospatial Repository, which is the database backbone that supports the NSPIT, to allow for ongoing collection of relevant, up-to-date, high-quality spatial data, which is currently not resident anywhere in a single place in government. The planned upgrade of the repository, including acquisition of new datasets and the creation of a multi-user interface, is expected to allow for the ongoing access of the national spatial data that can meet, or it is our wish that it actually exceeds, international geospatial standards, being made available to both public sector and its stakeholders. To date, JAMPRO and the ministry has worked together, and we have drafted a terms of reference for that work to be done. And we're currently finalizing with the ministry an MOU and a formal funding request so that we can trigger procurement of this enhancement work by the end of August. Again, JAMPRO was very happy to work with you and support your objectives for the development of the NSPIT platform. We're excited at the prospects that it brings for expediting the provision of information to our investment community. We look forward to continuing our work with you and to roll out the planned enhancements to the platform as we seek to make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Cox. Vice President, greetings, ladies and gentlemen, coming to bring to another
Charles, Minister of Housing, Urban Renewal, Environment and Climate Change, Mr. Numa Gremlin of geosys.net, Mrs. Shulette Cox of JAMPRO, specially invited stakeholders, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to welcome you all and to bring greetings to the launch of the National Spatial Planning Information Technology Platform, NSPIT, hosted by the National Spatial Data Management Division of the Ministry of Housing, Urban Renewal, Environment and Climate Change. The use of geospatial technologies has increased significantly in the public and private sectors over the years, both here in Jamaica as well as in the wider Caribbean region. The evidence of its enormous potential for planners, entrepreneurs, academics, environmentalists, and policymakers, just to name a few, is overwhelming. This ministry, through the Land Information Council of Jamaica and the National Spatial Data Management Division, continue to play a significant role in promoting the use of the technology, particularly through training, education, and also initiatives such as the NSPIT platform. I note with pride that Jamaica continues to lead the Caribbean region in geospatial information management and the use of geospatial technologies, and is a valued contributor to the various regional and international fora and the use of the technology. In fact, during the Americas Geospatial Forum held in 2019 in Mexico City, Jamaica was ranked 9th out of 55 countries within North, South, Latin America, and the Caribbean region, and was also the only Caribbean country ranked within the top 25 countries assessed. As we say in Jamaica, we little, but we tallow. The advancing of geospatial education and training opportunities for government of Jamaica entities have provided government staff over the years with geospatial knowledge and skill sets necessary for the more efficient and effective execution of their duties. The NSPIT launch further demonstrates the government's commitment to incorporate the use of technology in the planning process for national development, and will serve to expand the decision-making capabilities of the various stakeholder entities. In closing, I wish to extend my heartiest congratulations and commendations to innovative and hardworking members of the National Spatial Data Management Branch of the Ministry for the launch of yet another worthwhile platform utilizing GIS technology. I look forward to experiencing the outcome of its application together with the various systems at our disposal in the planning and development process. Thank you.
Thank you very much, P.S. Hills, for bringing greetings. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you have heard so much about NSPIT thus far. I don't know what she will be playing, but I'm sure it will be something that is just as interesting. So let me welcome, for musical selection this morning, Miss Keturah Gray. Let's get together and feel all right. One love. And that's the universal song and the message we are putting right across the world as we launch NSPIT. Because NSPIT is not just for technocrats. It's for all students in academia. NSPIT is for the ordinary citizens of Jamaica. So it's for all of us. One love. Thank you very much, Miss Gray. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to now call the minister for the keynote address. This is what you have been waiting for. I can see it in your eyes. I can hear it in your heartbeat. So, the Honorable Pernell Charles Jr., Minister of Housing, Urban Renewal, Environment, and Climate Change, will now bring keynote address.
Let me firstly say thank you to our Master of Ceremonies for taking us through this morning's proceedings. And despite some of our technical difficulties, we have been able to have a good ceremony so far. So thank you, Master of Ceremonies. You happen also to be one of the most important persons here. So we thank you for your work and for that of your team. And I know the level of commitment that you have, Raymond. We, on behalf of the government and the people, we appreciate, acknowledge my brilliant Permanent Secretary, Dr. Hales. Thank you, Dr. Hales, for your leadership in the ministry. You bring a wealth of experience to all that we do. Of course, Mr. Martin Dressen, and in your absence, your colleague, Mr. Numa Gremling. And thank you, Mr. Gremling, for your remarks all the way from Germany. And I know that right now it's very hot in Germany. You're feeling the impact and effect of climate change. One of the things that we are hoping that the information and data that we will get from the NSPIT will assist us in curbing. Mrs. Cox, Vice President of JAMPRO, and all of the colleagues from JAMPRO who are just brilliant and doing all they can to invite investment into our country. special invited stakeholders, everyone from the Ministry of Housing, Urban Renewal, Environment and Climate Change, of course, members and friends of the media, ladies and gentlemen, everyone watching, good morning to you. A lot has been said, and, you know, permit me to restate the importance of what we are seeking to do today. I want to just say thank you to everyone for joining us for this very important launch of the NSPIT platform, National Spatial Planning Information Technology Platform, which is going to be critical in really serving to ensure optimal use of our natural resources, land and marine resources, and to help us to roll out our national spatial plan as effectively as possible. Now, this is a momentous occasion, one which perhaps, if we didn't have the constraints of COVID, we would have had to invite several persons from all over the world, and I dare say all of the government officials, and perhaps filled the stadium to get across the importance of what we are doing today. We are trying to change how we operate, how we think, and therefore our outcomes. For a long time in Jamaica, Mr. Poyser, we have heard our problems are with planning. Problems with planning. We have a road, we have a problem with planning. That's why the road is built, constructed right after it is flooding. Problems with planning in terms of how we are building, how we are thinking, and how we are developing in all different sectors. And so today, this is a launch of a platform which is a part of the integral thrust for government now to use science and technology, information and data to inform our decisions so that we have better processes in decision making and therefore more effective and successful outcomes. If we want to achieve national development, if we want a country where we are able to confront the challenges that we face in terms of the disaster risk, in terms of our response to climate change, P.S. Hales, in terms of how we are going to improve the use of our natural resources and manage our development, then we have to utilize technology to our benefit. And this platform, NSPIT platform, is a web-based GIS tool that is created to do just that, to create the visualization and the graphical representation of our national spatial plan. Everyone knows, and we have been taught, that if you fail to prepare, you're preparing to fail. And so this is an integral part of how the government is incorporating technology into our business process so we can improve our outcomes. And I must tell you, the development of the platform is based on what we've seen successfully being operated across the world. We have looked on the national map of Australia. We've looked on the infrastructure for spatial information in the European community. We have looked on Singapore, the United States, and other places across the world. And we called on geosys.net to develop the platform, and that's a German consultancy firm which has assisted in developing this platform under component 1 of the Foundations for Competitiveness and Growth project, and it is being implemented by the PIOJ, so we thank the PIOJ as well as JAMPRO, who are collaborating with them, and the Development Bank of Jamaica. And so I acknowledge all of the stakeholders, some who couldn't be here with us, unfortunately. But as I've said, where we have constraints in numbers, we utilize technology to get our information out to the world. And we have to talk loudly and consistently about the successes in developing this platform. But more importantly, team, friends, colleagues, developing the platform is only one step. Only one step. the other step has to now be for us to use the database and to see the data sets, which is what are the critical faculty ministries, what are the critical sectors that are going to be impacted by the platform: agriculture, communications, natural environment, settlements, health, infrastructure, all of the sectors that we know will be benefiting from the use of spatial data in a way for us to have improved job creation. And so let me also acknowledge all of the team members under MEG-JC, as well as Permanent Secretary Sewell and the executive team. Then the National Spatial Data Management Branch was with that ministry. And now, of course, it is with the Ministry of Housing, Urban Renewal, Environment and Climate Change. And all of this was facilitated through a $50 million loan from the World Bank to finance the Foundations for Competitiveness and Growth project, which aims, and is very important in terms of strengthening the business environment in our country for private sector investment. So, as I said before, we can look on marine ecosystem, parish boundaries, satellite images, social amenities, economic, transport, utilities, forestry, water. I could go on and on in terms of the data sets, in terms of those components of the NSPIT platform. And these will contain subsets with specific items. For example, under the title infrastructure, there are subsets of bridges, dam walls, lighthouses, drains. Under agriculture, for instance, you may have farms, markets, and so on. Why do we tell you this? We're giving you this detail so you understand how critical and how intricate the information that we receive will be. And the NSPIT platform, which is energizing and visualizing the National Spatial Plan, is important, again, to planning and development of all of what we do, because the National Spatial Plan, Permanent Secretary Hales, is the principal planning and development tool, instrument, management branch in even acquiring information that has been useful in our combating of COVID-19 pandemic. And that is a prime example of what information and data has done to assist us in knowing where to place our resources, where to allocate our funding, where to shift capacity, and also in monitoring and evaluation to see if what we are doing is making the best sense. When we talk about sustainable, it's no longer just a word. It has to be a concept integrated into everything we do. And so if we're able to use science and technology to plan better, that is sustainability. In a country where we have limited resources and limited money, we have to find the best way to use the funds that we have most effectively. And so the National Spatial Plan is very, very important. It's going to address major issues associated with the imbalances that we have between urban. It's going to address the increasing pressure on land resources brought about by the increasing urbanization and development priorities. And we know that it will help us to address the increasing urban sprawl. You see and you hear the concerns and the complaints across the cities. Soon be heading to the UK to discuss at a very high level with ministers across the world what Jamaica is doing to build our own capacity to mitigate our own, in our own way, against climate change. But more importantly, this NSPIT platform is going to be a part of my discussion in showing that we are serious about using data to really define the best solutions in terms of sustainable development that's going to acknowledge our realities and put in place disaster risk management. It's going to assist in increasing our ability to focus on the environmental agenda and to address land use conflicts, as well as, I'm told, one of the benefits is that it is designed to be compatible as well with other geographic information systems, which will allow for ease of expansion and for it to also be integrated and synchronized thereafter. I think it is also important to note that as a ministry with 4 portfolios, 4 distinct portfolios, the housing, urban renewal, environment, and climate change, this tool will contribute to the increased intersection and integration among our portfolio areas. So housing and human settlements will be informed by reliable solutions, will also integrate or be at least impacted by environmental and climate change activities. And those will help to influence where we develop and how we plan going forward. All of that will come from the information we're getting from NSPIT, because it will give spatial analysis and modeling of so that developers, planners, engineers, architects can gain access to make better decisions on what to do going forward. We'll also be able to strengthen our management of the environment and key resources using the NSPIT platform, again, by incorporating data on our forest reserves, our marine and terrestrial ecosystems. We are going to be able to increase our capacity to protect and to preserve ecological resources for sustainable development. Again, we've mentioned, and we can never overlook, the importance of crafting the right solutions to combat climate change, particularly when we know so many of our residential, commercial activity is close to the coast and therefore very, very vulnerable to what we know takes place in our country: hurricanes, flooding, tropical storms, and other weather systems. The platform is also going to help to inform the type and scale of interventions that we can undertake to develop more resilient settlements. And I say so because when we speak about housing, we're no longer talking about just affordable housing. Affordable housing discussion was in the past. We now have to speak about affordable and resilient housing, because any housing which is to fit the category of low-income earners must also be crafted and developed with the contemplation of disasters and climate change and environmental considerations. And so we look forward to all of the information and data that we will get to help us to build in better places at the price point that makes sense, but still respecting the need for the occupants, our citizens, to have a safe space for their shelter. When an investor or a developer comes to Jamaica, we will now be able to present them with the opportunity to gain access so they can make decisions on what is the most suitable land for whatever type of development they are seeking to advance in our country. They can tap into the platform, they can add some data sets to form layers, and then they will be able to perform spatial analysis based on criteria and factors. The investor will have the benefit now of being able to have an informed decision by using accurate geospatial data. That is why we say this is a momentous occasion. We're looking at the new era, the game changer, the new Jamaica. And this is how we move to renew Jamaica. Particularly, as I close, with the post-COVID-19 considerations, we use this as a time to reset and to think about all that we have endured as a people in this country and across the globe. And I think it highlights the importance of being able to plan for the unexpected. If you have these platforms, what is unexpected will be contemplated. At least we will have a better chance of being able to design and determine how to protect our people going forward and how to make Jamaica thrive, not just take steps, but take calculated and deliberate steps in a direction that we choose where we choose based on our assets, based on our location, based on our criteria, based on our variables, where we choose to develop and why we choose to develop for maximum efficiency. All the platforms examined and reviewed from the various territories have shown clearly that decision making is enhanced because of the practical implementation of geospatial technology. There is no challenge to that. Importantly, the commitment that has been given by national governments towards its development remains a guiding principle that must be appreciated. The National Spatial Planning Information Technology Platform is important. It represents the continued effort, as I said, by the administration, by your government, to make better decisions using more accurate information so that we can have positive outcomes. That is what it is. So in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, everyone, let us begin this journey. Let me again thank all who have been critical to us achieving the successes thus far. I am looking forward to much more, and I know that we must continue to collect and update spatial data in a timely manner. Let me end by saying that whatever we're doing must be done with the consideration of time. This is ours, and its effectiveness will be based on all of us, everyone listening, everyone watching, being integral to its protection and to its development. Again, thank you to the team, thank you PS, and thank you to all for participating in our launch this morning. Do I move? Okay. So we're going to move now to the official launching of the National Spatial Information Technology Platform. I hope to turn this road. This is the new technology. So, as Mr. Poyser said, we're not cutting any ribbons today. Today, we're simply using a touch screen to tap as a representation. Okay. Okay. Very good. Okay. All right. Exciting stuff. So the video play now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
Much, Minister Charles. You have just created a piece of history by launching the National Spatial Planning Information Technology Platform. And the viewers would have seen that video right at the launch and how interactive the platform is. It is for just the Ministry of Housing, Urban Renewal, Environment and Climate Change. It is for all Jamaicans and all persons with interest in Jamaica, where planning, development and investment aspects are concerned. So this morning I just want to say thank you again for all the parties that have joined us. You would have from Ms. Keturah and give their rendition. We'll return. Thank you very much, Ms. Keturah Gray. This is indeed Jamaica, and we at the Ministry of Housing, Urban Renewal, Environment and Climate Change, we know exactly how to make you feel at home. We want to say wonderful performance again by Ms. Gray. At this time, we will have the vote of thanks, where we will invite Ms. Simone Lloyd, Senior GIS Trainer at the National Spatial Data Management Division. Ms. Lloyd.
Master of Ceremony, Mr. Raymond Poyser, Principal Director Acting within the National Spatial Data Management Branch. The Honorable Minister, Pernell Charles Jr., Permanent Secretary, Dr. Alwyn Hales, Geosis Net Representative, Mr. Numa Gremlin, Vice President of JAMPRO, Mrs. Shulette Cox, distinguished guests, all for the success of any project. These tenets formed the foundation upon which the National Spatial Planning Information Technology Platform was successfully developed as a new value created together that will benefit our nation. As the NSPIT contract supervisor came the role of overseeing and administering the project, managing relationships, keeping track of targets, and ensuring that all stipulated deliverables were met. This entire process within the past 1.5 to 2 years was supported significantly by partners, stakeholders, and team members who bought into and owned the vision of having a geospatial platform that would support Jamaica's development and planning process towards achieving our Vision 2030 National Development Plan. As such, we owe an immense debt of gratitude to the following organizations and personnel. To the Jamaica Promotions Corporation, JAMPRO, as the agency of the government of Jamaica that promotes business opportunities in export and investment to the local and international private sector. We express gratitude to Mrs. Shulette Cox, who has joined us today, and her team members, Ms. Sharon Allen, Ms. Stacy Rose, Mr. Marcel Brown, and all other team members for their invaluable support, effort, and commitment to the entire process of project idea approval, management, monitoring, and execution towards project finalization and completion. We could not have done it without you. To the Planning Institute of Jamaica, as the foremost planning agency of the government that seeks to initiate and coordinate the development of policies, plans, and programs for the sustainable development of Jamaica. Sincere gratitude is extended to the Director General, Dr. Wayne Henry, and his team members, Mr. Melvin Smith, Project Manager for the Foundations for Competitive Growth, Mrs. Monique Harper Griffiths, Mrs. Kadeen Mackenzie Elliott, and all other team members for their invaluable support, effort, and commitment for the entire process of project idea and funding approval, management, monitoring, and execution towards us coming to the end of this very successful project. So your support was essential at securing the funding and disseminating when needed to ensure that our commitments were met throughout the process. We could not have done it without you, and so we thank you. To Geosis.net, the German-based consultancy firm that provides project planning and development, marketing and maintenance of software, and various system solutions in the spatial information technologies field. There would not be an NSPIT platform without your technical geospatial expertise and insight shown in facilitating its development within record time ahead of the project deadline. We thank you for looking outside of Germany and reaching the shores of Jamaica to bid on this project. We are all very pleased that the most appropriate company was selected to develop and maintain this valuable product that will support our planning and development needs. To the Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Martin Dressen, it has been an esteemed pleasure working with you and your team members, Messrs. Numa Gremlin and Yanis Kotsis, throughout the entire process. We look forward to our continued harmonious and success-driven relationship towards ensuring the maintenance and sustainability of the platform for the benefit of the people of Jamaica. We could not have done it without you. Gratitude is also extended to Murex Legal Services Unit, led by Senior Legal Officer Ms. Carrie Andres Dryden, for all the legal support received to facilitate the numerous reviews and finalization of the NSPIT Maintenance Agreement and the NSPIT Maintenance and Sustainability Plan. Special gratitude is extended to previously extended to Mr. Micah Daly, who was very integral in the onset of the review process and the project, and to Ms. Janet Blackwood, who facilitated the successful completion of this process. Much gratitude is also extended to the chairman of the Technical Working Group of the National Spatial Plan, Mr. Roland Alvaranga, and for all members of the TWG for their invaluable support in reviewing all received deliverables, providing feedback, and monitoring the process towards completion. Mr. Alvaranga, please accept gratitude for all your support in checking the finalization of all deliverables and signing on posting on the platform. We express sincere gratitude. Analysis, gratitude for the partnerships formed, and look forward to continued and new partnerships with the GOJ entities, with academia, with private sector, with investors, with non-government organizations, and all other geospatial providers towards facilitating and ensuring the sustainable updating, maintenance, and utilization of the NSPIT platform for the benefit of us all. And on that note, we look forward to the continued partnership with JAMPRO as we take on a new project, as would have been expressed by Mrs. Cox, that of venturing onto upgrading the National Geospatial, Central Geospatial Repository that will be supporting the data needs for the NSPIT. To our invaluable team members of the National Spatial Data Management Branch, under the leadership of the previous Principal Director, Mr. Yannick Watson, and under the current Acting Principal Director, Mr. Raymond Poyser, we thank you for the invaluable administrative and technical support received throughout all phases of the project, from the viewing of all deliverables, collaborations with GOJ entities, and the acquisition of datasets, facilitating the transferring of the platform from Germany to Jamaica, planning and participating in training and UAT exercises, and the listing goes on. In addition to the planning and the execution of this event, your support has been invaluable and is appreciated. This function would not have been possible without the support and presence of our key esteemed guests. To the Master of Ceremony, Mr. Poyser, we thank you for ably guiding us through the official proceedings of this historic occasion. To our minister this morning, and for facilitating the official launch of this historic platform. We're happy that you were able to interact with the platform, and it seemed as if you enjoyed doing that. And we look forward to your continued support as we promote awareness raising of the platform and champion its utilization by all of Jamaica. To our Permanent Secretary, Dr. Alwyn Hales, we thank you for your stewardship provided in the last phase of the project as we wound down and ensured the signing of the NSPIT Management Agreement, supported by the NSPIT Maintenance and Sustainability Plan with Geosys Consultants. We express gratitude for your efforts in ensuring that we were able to meet the end of 2020-21 financial year deadline. We are honored that you were able to join us this morning in celebrating this major achievement. To our musician, Miss Keturah Gray, we thank you for sharing and blessing us with the gift of music through your renditions that have set the ideal tone and ambience for this occasion. Many of us were rocking here, and I'm sure you were also rocking wherever you are joining from. To our viewers, we appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule this morning to share in this momentous occasion with us. We hope that you are now au fait with the platform and that you will be taking the time to access the various links shared and to interact with the components, explore, and utilize to support your work. In particular, we extend this invitation to students, academia, planners, municipal corporation personnel, geospatial professionals, private developers, investors, and the listing goes on. This very user-friendly platform has been developed and made accessible for any and everyone to utilize, and so we encourage you to utilize accordingly. To Bunch Media, we extend gratitude for all the support facilitated in ensuring the live streaming of this very successful event via YouTube, Facebook, and all the other sites, so that all our stakeholders, partners, and viewers could share with us in this occasion. But what good is a platform if it is not used? And so we cannot stress the importance of everyone logging on and using it. With the support of GeosysNet, we look forward. We have had successfully staged 4 training sessions for the administrators, users, and stakeholders of the platform. And so we look forward to rolling out a series of sensitization sessions throughout this year that will help to promote the platform and to facilitate its maximization. To Geosys, we extend gratitude again for this high-quality geospatial platform of which you've developed for the people of our country. And we look forward to our continued harmonious relationship over the next 3 years as we look towards ensuring that the tenets of the NSPIT Maintenance Agreement and the NSPIT Maintenance and Sustainability Plan are successfully executed. Again, we thank all our partners, stakeholders, and developers of this platform, and all who have participated in and contributed to the success of this event. And so in closing, we present to you again the National Spatial Planning Information Technology Platform, helping to achieve Vision 2030 Jamaica, in which Jamaica is a place of choice to live, raise families, and do business. We thank you for joining us.